Hello, hello, hello! It's another chance to hang out with me. Thank you very much for joining me today. Welcome to the Kathy J Show. I am Kathy J. It's a joy to get to spend this half hour with you. I love you so much. Thanks for feeling the vibe. Don't forget, you can check out all my past shows by just going to kathyjshow.com. You can even see some of me, the producers and I, our little dance moves. We decided that we're going to do 15-second dance moves every week. So you got to go to kathyjshow.com so you can see those. Also, I have to give a quick shout out to the viewer emails. I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing and sending me those emails, because it just inspires my staff and I so much every morning. So thank you, thank you, thank you. A little special shout out to Catherine. You made me cry. Thank you very much. All right, so you know what? The Kathy J Show is kind of like what we're doing. It's the good, it's the bad, and it's the ugly. And today I want to talk to you about hiking trails and record sales. Isn't that cute? My producer Colleen came up with that. Hiking trails and record sales. Now, to me, there's a lot more good than bad and ugly in the state of Colorado. This is a beautiful state that we live in. We have the gorgeous orange and blue sunsets, go Broncos. We got those majestic, beautiful Rocky Mountains. We got over 300 days of sunshine. That's a good chance to get that vitamin D. And like they always say in Colorado, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes and it's gonna change. What I'm saying is, it's about being outside, everybody. Being outside is so good for your soul. Like, it just recharges you. The fresh air can clear your head. Walking, it helps your heart. You know, you're doing everything in the outdoors, but hey, remember, if you walk a mile in, you gotta walk a mile back out. Okay, because nobody comes and picks you up back in the woods. There's no forest elves Ubering people out. Just imagine that little visual, little forest elves and Ubers. I'm sorry. Seriously, everybody. So especially after this last year and a half that we've had, nobody wants to be cooped up like that again. So a lot of us have been venturing out into the beautiful, great outdoors. You know, if you didn't know, I grew up here in Colorado. Been out here since I was 4 years old. What up, Thornton? So in fact, my first camping trip up into the Rocky Mountains was with my Girl Scout troop. We went up to Camp Ponderosa, and a squirrel immediately went number 1 and number 2 on my sleeping bag. But as everyone was saying, it's better on it than in it, right? I also remember going up for outdoor ed for high school, and you had to crawl up that tree of trust. Remember that thing? And you get to the end, and then you walk across really high up there, and then you're supposed to go, ah, and fall. Nah, it didn't happen. I didn't trust anybody. I fell before I even got halfway up that ladder to crawl up the thing in the first place. I don't trust you. I'm kidding. But remember, maybe. And over the years, let's talk about like camping with friends, taking hikes with them, driving around to look for moose or meeses. Bird watching. I've bird watched in the Rocky Mountains. Picnics. And what about right now? How many pictures are you seeing about those beautiful gold and orange fall colors happening up there in the Rocky Mountains? The mountains are calling. Are you listening, everybody? You can do all those things I mentioned, thanks in part to the Colorado Lottery. Props to the Colorado Lottery. I've said it before and I will say it again. $3.7 billion with a B has gone back into our state's wildlife conservation, schools, and open spaces. The Colorado Lottery, y'all, has broken its best year in revenue. We benefit from it. Even with the pandemic and everything being shut down, Colorado Lottery said, play on. And we played on. We played on so hard, in fact, that every category saw an increase last year. Mega Millions jumped up by 52%, Powerball 32%, and the really good news about all this is, like I said, it goes back into the trails and everything that I've been talking about. It's a huge win for everybody in the state of Colorado. It's a huge win for everybody, including my first guest today, Fat Man Little Trail. That's what he did to get through the pandemic. Yes, Fat Man Little Trail. And the rest of us, we just kind of played the Colorado Lottery. So we have the director of the Colorado Lottery here as well to thank us and to remind us how we can work together to keep Colorado beautiful. So everybody hang out because Fat Man's coming up next. We will be right back. Kathy J. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. Hello. All right, so we're spoiled to have the mountains here in our backyard. And a lot of folks are heading up to them and hiking this fall. They've been hiking all year, actually. But if you're new to Colorado or new to the hiking situation, there are a few things that you should know before hitting the trails. That's why the creator of FatmanLittleTrail.com, Greg Sakowicz, is here joining me over Zoom. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Kathy, how you doing today?
I'm good. Look at you. I can't believe this. So I've known you for easily 10 years,
Yeah.
and you have changed. I can't believe that you've become a hiking guy. What is this?
I don't know. You know me. I was the guy I was at work all the time. I live in the city. My longest hike was to the bar or the restaurant down the street. But in 2020, we had that issue where everything shut down for quite some time, and living downtown, that meant that everything got a little bit claustrophobic, but the only thing that was open were the trails. So as somebody who lived here for 7 years, but never really went to the mountains, maybe 4 times in 7 years, I decided, hey, it's time to go to the mountains. And I did, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons of going to the mountains for the first time, especially as a hefty hiker, as I like to say.
Right, a hefty hiker, because that's one of the reasons, let's be honest, Greg, I don't like to go is because I've got some weight on me. I'm a little unsteady on my small little ankles. Like, I get nervous, but I want to see it. I'd love to see it. Those places those pictures we just saw, that looks amazing.
Well, and absolutely. And what I found was when I wanted to get started, I was like, I wanted to see it, but I was embarrassed and I was nervous and I didn't want to go up there and get myself in trouble. It's a scary place, if you get up in the mountains, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. And all of the websites that I looked at, there are a lot of great resources out there, but they were all for, people that were young and in shape and like, oh, I ran this 14er in 10 minutes. And that was not me. I was like, I'm over 40 and I'm fat and I can barely breathe at 5280. How am I going to breathe at 14,000? So I wanted to kind of get that resource out there for people that wanted to do it, but were worried about it and were scared about it. And if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do it.
I loved how you said that when you first started walking, you would have to sit to catch your breath and you would pretend you were taking photos and stuff. And I totally do that at Red Rocks. I'm the person that turns around and goes, Isn't it beautiful up here? So I get that. But now you said you've gotten past that. Stop wherever you want. It's about your journey on that trail.
Exactly. Like I said, I was embarrassed when I started, and I think a lot of people are, because you're breathing hard and people are walking past you. So I came up with my excuse of, oh, I'm going to take a picture of this and this and this. And what I found too, though, is that the best pictures aren't always at the end of the trail. What I learned was that if you stop somewhere and turn around and look, there's beauty all over on every step of the trail.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people miss that when they race too fast to get to the end. But it was just an excuse for me to catch my breath. And now I don't mind it. Now I catch my breath. I'll lean up on my pole. I'll be, how you doing? Talking to everybody who walks by. Like, yeah, I'm the guy that's stopping 13 feet into the trail, but it's fun.
I love that. So is that where your motto, screw it, I'm trying, came about? Just screw it, I'm trying.
It is, because so much. I was sitting on my apartment going, I want to go hike, but I don't.
Right.
And what happens if I get out there and I get lost or I hurt myself or something? And then I just said, you know what, screw it. It's time to try. And I came up with the blog, and it's actually my most popular blog, and it's my motto, and it's the stages of grief, but set to hiking for a hefty hiker. So, there's denial. Like, as soon as you get there, I'm going to do this. This is going to be the best hike of my life. And then, finally there's acceptance where you're like, this is terrible, but I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, But once you accept that you're not going to be the first one up the hill, it makes the whole hike a whole lot better.
You're absolutely. So that's what inspired then Fat Man Little Trail. Was it the blog and that became your website, Fat Man Little Trail? Or it all just happened?
So it kind of started, I was doing a hike and it was really early in the journey. And I was sitting on the side and I could barely breathe. I was probably like a 6% grade, a really easy trail. And these two kids, probably 7 and 9, walk by me wearing Crocs and drinking a Capri Sun. And I'm sitting all geared up and they're like, hi, mister. And I'm like, oh man, I am just a fat man on a little trail right now. So like, I got the kind of mindset and the concept of it just from that one moment of sitting there and having these kids run past me like it was nothing. Like I was standing still and they're just running.
It's awesome.
That made up my mind.
You know what though? You're seeing so much. You sent us pictures of you up there with the fall colors. That was a recent photo you just took.
Yeah.
And when did you just take this? This is beautiful.
This was Tuesday, actually.
Okay,
So
yeah.
on Tuesday, I went up. This is Kenosha Pass. That's kind of like the first place I like to go because it's easy to get to. It's easy to walk around and find these beautiful colors. That was actually right off of the little parking area right there. So right at the start of the hike. Um, I think I did like 2 miles and it was like 800 feet of or not even 800, like 80 feet of elevation. I was just walking down a road and just enjoying myself,
So
enjoying the colors.
is it pretty easy to find trails? Like in my neighborhood, there's a little map that says this is where you are and this is where you're going. Is it
Sure.
like that when for us beginners going up into to the hike?
So what I used an app called All Trails, and All Trails gives you kind of
All
the basics
trails.
of where it is, how to get there. It'll give you a hard, medium, or easy rating on it, and then a lot of people in the community will put their advice on there
Oh
too.
yeah,
But
that's what we
that
need.
you don't
Yes.
know what that person is or who's giving that advice. So I also do I break down all the hikes on my website. So I've done I think it's about 175 hikes now
Oh my
that are
gosh, Greg.
broken down. Yeah,
I
I've done
have to
over a
tell you,
thousand.
you are a different man that I'm talking to right now. Like you're jovial and happy, and I mean the guy that used to walk around the station.
Yeah.
I mean, who is this guy? It's obviously has really done like amazing things for your mental health. You're smiling.
I know it's been years since I smiled. Um,
Exactly.
well, and I did it during the pandemic. Whenever that's when I started in 2020 March, and it was a really stressful time for everybody. And I found I did it because I wanted to get in better shape physically. But what I found was that mental aspects of it were better than the physical aspects. Like I think it goes back to our thoughts of exploring as human beings. You just want to see something new and see beauty, and you can do it at your own pace, which kind of helps you think through things,
I love
and
that.
just kind of clears your mind. And it's just a wonderful way to help with that mental health.
It's all about making sure your mental health is happy. But
Yeah.
before we go, we have to go really fast. So we're just going to go down a list of advice that you have for new beginners. It started out with wearing good socks, right?
Number one, that is the most important thing I found. No blisters, get some good wool hiking socks.
Awesome, awesome. Know before you go. I learned that the hard way. It rained on me.
Absolutely. Get a weather forecast, check All Trails for trail conditions and things like that.
Take your time. We've already talked about that.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to stop. We've talked about that.
Yep.
And the big one that I see on your face is have fun.
Have fun and don't be afraid. Like, not every step is going to be fun, but you have to enjoy it when you come down.
You're the best, Greg. I can't believe it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Everyone
Kathy.
here is just shocked at how happy and amazing you look. So keep it
It's a
up,
new
fat
person.
man.
Thank you
That's
very
the
much,
weirdest
Kathy.
thing to say. So you can check out Greg's website by going to fatmanlittletrail.com and get out there and explore, everybody. That's why we're here. We'll be right back.
Kathy J.
Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness.
Kathy J.
He's already got me laughing, everybody. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show. So today we're talking about the importance of getting outside and clearing your head. There's no better way to do that than on one of our 42,000 miles of trails in Colorado. My guest today has been on 38,000 of them. Maybe, actually. Please welcome the director of the Colorado Lottery, Tom Seaver, back to join the Kathy J Show.
Thank you,
Hello.
Kathy. Good to be back.
Good to be back. So I know that you heard me talking to Greg. Do you have a favorite trail that you go to or a favorite spot up in the outdoors?
You know, I live in Pueblo,
Yep.
so I have access to a lot of great trails and the Lake Pueblo State Park, which
Yes.
is probably the place I spend the most time because
Is
I
that where
like
you
to
go?
trail run there, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's cool that you're down in Pueblo. I'm going to come see you next month,
Yes.
actually. That's going to be fun. So, okay, so the Colorado Lottery just had its most successful year in revenue. You guys are looking at 794.9. I had to write on my hand, y'all, so I didn't forget. And that's despite the pandemic and everything being shut down. That is crazy. Why do you think it increased so much?
Well, it's a bounce back year. I think 2020 we had a downturn because people were indoors and lockdown, and some of our retailers weren't open. But pretty much 2021, people's shopping habits kind of came back to where they had been, and that really made a big difference. People were out buying normal things, and
Yes.
lottery tickets are part of their routine, so they got back into their routine. We were helped by some good jackpots like we have right now.
Oh yeah, the Powerball's up. It's like 490.
5, 7.
It's gone up again.
Going over
Woo!
5, yeah.
Woo! Oh yeah, because last night there was another drawing last night that didn't get.
Well, yeah, Powerball's up. Mega Millions got one.
Yes, I know
in
they
New York,
did.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
congratulations to whoever you are. But so we're going off of the current year of 2021. So last year during 2020, a lot of us, we weren't playing as much, but some of us were bored, so we played. So the money you're talking about is just this year alone since we started.
Right.
When
It's-
we realized we have extra money, let's go play the lottery.
Right.
That's awesome. A 21% increase since last year. So since you had such a good year, you were able to give even more back. You had even more programs like the GoCo. You met, what is this? What does it mean when you sent me a message saying that you met your Colorado cap for GoCo?
Right. So GoCo is limited based on a cost of living adjustment.
Okay.
So GoCo can only be funded to a certain level that's based on the cost of living. So last year was about $71 million. And once you hit that amount, then money flows over to the other beneficiaries.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
GoCo gets 50% of our revenue up to a certain point.
Okay, gotcha. And then it's good because then the other support goes to the schools.
Right. Conservation Trust Fund gets 40%. Colorado Parks and Wildlife gets 10%.
That's awesome.
So then after GoCo cap is hit, and I'm getting into the math weeds
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
here, but yeah, so BEST, the Building Excellent Schools Today program.
Yes. They
had
got
a
7.6 million.
7.6 million, and then that was wonderful because a lot of schools that apply for BEST grants, like they need a new air conditioning system, or
Yeah.
they need a new parking lot, or they need new computers, and this is maybe the only way that some of them are going to get it.
No, and that makes us feel better when whenever I lose, because it happens. In my head, I think, well, I'd rather that $10 just went to schools than going to a Starbucks. So I prefer that. I'm okay spending my money and playing on. But so also the outdoor wildlife and the conservation and the trails and stuff. I want to talk to what Greg was saying. He really was saying that you guys do a lot of work up there in those trails. So you're not up there just in the middle of nowhere with, an unmanicured kind of trail. You guys put in the effort and make sure like your rangers are walking the trails. How do you maintain 42,000 miles?
Well, it's all done by the hardworking people in the parks and recreation
I know, but it has to start with money.
Well, money helps,
Yeah.
money helps, but it wouldn't happen without the volunteers
Right.
that come in and work on the trails, and partners that we work with, like Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado, that do important projects all over the state. So really, when you think about the $169 million that went to our beneficiaries, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because many of those beneficiaries also have to put other money in with it or supplement it with volunteer services to make all that work on the trails happen.
Yes. Oh my God, Tom, there's so much more that we want to talk about, but real fast, show the picture of Fisher's Peak, excuse me. This is our newest park
State park.
we've gotten. Okay.
Yep.
If they bring it up. Okay, it just came up. It was the video we just had. I'm sorry, everybody. Beautiful. That is now part of our parks, right? You acquired it down in
it's
Pueblo.
our newest state park. It's right next to Trinidad, and it is just a gorgeous piece of real estate. It's been held privately as part of different ranches. Ranch owners down through the years have owned it, and finally
we had some extra money to
we were
get
able
it.
to. Yeah, it was actually known as Crazy French Ranch. That was
it?
the name of
well,
it
now
before.
it's Fisher's Peak.
Now it's
But,
Fisher's Peak.
Tom, I have to let you go, which I'm so sad about because I could talk about making money all day and where we're spending it. But
all
for
good.
more information about the Colorado Lottery and to check out all the amazing things they're doing, just go to coloradolottery.com. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to you and your amazing
Thank
staff.
you. Thank you.
All right, so this is funny. We have some trivia. Don't answer, Tom. Okay. Speaking of the Colorado Lottery, it's time for this week's trivia. How many days a week can you play Lucky for Life? We'll see if Tom knows when we come back.
Kathy J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on.
Kathy J.
Welcome back back to the show. So before the break, I asked you how many days a week can you play Lucky for Life? The answer, Tom Seaver, is?
7 days a week.
There you go, 7 days a week.
Every single day.
Thank you, Tom Seaver, for being here today. Tom wanted to remind everybody, the Colorado Lotto plays Wednesdays and Saturdays. Colorado Lotto Plus, play it. It's only people in Colorado.
Only sold here.
Only sold
$10.8
here.
million.
$10.8 million. Play it. Bye.